let's start with last weekend. You've had a lot of games here. You just won your 100th, but what was that like? What was that atmosphere like in the arena?
It was it was pretty incredible. Our fans were really into it. It was sold out, and I was saying the fans were getting feisty, which first time I've seen them get that feisty. They were booing the pit coach when he was complaining, and it just made for a really fun atmosphere and exactly what you picture Louisville fans being is, they're into the game and feisty and giving the opponent some crap.
You talked yesterday about your concern that you hadn't had enough five-set matches. I think you've only had four that went beyond three.
Yeah.
Can you maybe elaborate a little bit about how you've adjusted practice to try to compensate for that?
Yeah, a big worry is just when you go through a season, you want to be great in December, and it's hard to stay in shape for that long, and especially in the sport of volleyball where your physical movements are pretty taxing on your body. So you have to find a great balance. So we've went longer in practice and tried to do some things so we make sure our team is in shape and we're ready for those five-set matches because we know they're going to happen.
How much longer are you talking? Excuse me. How much longer are you talking about in practice?
I think it's mainly just our playing part of practice. So we structure practice. We do individual work and then play and make sure that we're adding in some cardio, about 30 to 45 minutes longer than we normally would go this time of year when games are lasting a long time.
I think at the media day, you knew this team was going to be good. You knew you had a chance to do some damage. But could you have ever even imagined 20-0?
Not really, and I think more of it back to when I took the job here and to think that we'd be rated number 2 in the country within 5 years. I didn't know if that was quite possible, but I did know, starting in August, that this team would have a better chance than any team here ever to be great. And so I'm not surprised by this team, just more surprised by the overall program a little bit.
Do you know where your first place votes are coming from?
I know one. The coach at Lipscomb, so he texted me and said, I voted you number 1, and last year I voted Kentucky number 1, and everybody thought I was crazy, and hopefully that happens to you. So maybe he'll bring us that luck.
Do you have a vote?
I do. And I do not vote us number 1. I feel like that's a bad omen.
So who is your number 1? Texas?
Texas.
Okay.
Dani, is it nice to have, you don't have the week off because of practice, but you have
Yes.
a match on Friday. Do you kind of need that at this point?
It was huge. I think after that pick game, we really saw some things we need to work on and maybe go back to the basics. And so we were able to do that and not prep for 2 teams in one weekend. So we got a chance to work on ourselves, and now later in the week we can start focusing on Duke.
You have 5 players with over 135 kills. Is that what helps kind of make this team? Obviously you the parts and the pieces and that, but is that really what kind of helps make this team?
100%. And we talk about that all the time. Today, even we were talking about how many different players have won us big matches, and it's typically not the same ones. And that's what makes us great, is we're really balanced and we use everybody as much as we can, and our setter understands how to set an offense. She's not just throwing up balls, and there's a big difference in the setting position between running an offense and just setting hittable balls. So she does an excellent job of keeping us balanced, and we're going to need that. And we don't have players that are built to get 30 plus kills a night. So we have players that are built to rely on each other and use each other to be successful.
Aside from obviously trying to get wins, what's something that you as a team want to focus on as you guys enter the last month of the season, regular season?
I think mentally is huge. We talked about the October blues and how that typically happens in volleyball. This is a hard time of the year and hard time with school. So focusing on our side of the net and what we need to do to push through this to be successful in December. So I think mentally it's huge, and not letting number 2 ranking or 20-0 get to our heads, and know that we still have a long ways to go to accomplish the goals we want.
Seems like you guys also did well in those October blues. How does that help you with with the team's confidence as you guys get ready for the bigger games heading down the road?
I think it's overlooked. Like we talked about not overlooking our win against Virginia, for example, and we came off a weekend we didn't play great, and we played great against Virginia. And so that's not easy to do, and especially right before Pitt, because everybody was talking about the Pitt match nationally and on social media. And so to be able to play great on Friday night was a pretty big statement, and I think it's huge for our confidence moving forward. You know, that we can win when we're not playing great, and but that we still have more left in the tank.
What does Tori mean to this team? Obviously, I don't know if she'll have a career in ghost hunting or anything like that because of the social media, but I mean, she just seems like she has all of everything that it takes to be a leader.
She does, and the best thing about Tori is she's constantly learning, and she's so coachable, not just on the court. She's so coachable with her mentality and her leadership, and you do not find that very often as somebody who wants to make changes and is just a great teammate. I think we'll miss that the most, more than just her setting balls, is her leadership and her willingness to change and to be the best she can be.
You mentioned the possibility of playing some matches down here maybe next year. There's obviously a lot of more overhead if you play here. How receptive is Vince to that idea?
I think he's super receptive, and you know, we want to get ready to host an outstanding Final Four in 24, and we want our players to have the experience of playing in a big arena. And so hopefully we can, you know, have a great crowd and really enjoy playing here. And Louisville, when I was an assistant coach here, we played pretty much all of our games. So I have a little bit of experience in this arena. So I think it'll be great, and I know Vince will be on board. Thanks for having me.